Hi guys. I realized that I never told you guys about the LEA Michele and Darren Criss concert that I went to. So I thought I would come on and make a video about it. I had planned to vlog that day, but decided like during the day before the concert there really wasn't much to vlog. I just basically had a shower and got some videos filmed before I headed out. So I just didn't, I decided not to vlog because I really wanted to, for the first time in a while, I wanted to really enjoy the concert without having to worry about filming. I just wanted to really like be in the moment and enjoy the concert. But I did take 4 small video clips of some moments that really stood out to me that I was like, okay, I really want to have a video clip of this moment that I could go back and look at. So the concert was on June the 10th, and it was to start at 8 p.m. I believe it was 8 p.m. Yeah. 8 p.m. was when it was going to start. And I left the house a little bit later than I intended to. I had wanted to get there by 7:30 because I figured that would give me enough time to go to the bathroom and find my seat and all that. And I couldn't find any information anywhere online to find out if there was going to be an opening act or not. So I thought, if there's no mention of an opening act, maybe there isn't one and they'll be coming on right at 8. So anyways, I got there at, I think it was like 7:45, maybe even 7:50, and there was a big lineup to get into the venue, and I was like, oh no. So thankfully it moved fairly quick, and I got in fairly quick, and then I had to go to the bathroom. And so anyways, I go to the bathroom, and as I was coming, because the bathroom was like in the basement of the theater, and so I had to go downstairs, and as I got to the top of the stairs to come back out, like to go find my seat, because I had orchestra seats, I could hear LEA and Darren singing, and I was like, oh no, it's like it started. So like they started 8 o'clock on the dot. Now thankfully it was just the first song they were singing, so I think I only missed like a couple of seconds of it. Excuse me. So went in, found my seat, so I kind of was listening to them as I was getting to my seat. So I had awesome seats. I was to the side in the orchestra, but sort of like in the middle of that section. So I ended up, thankfully didn't have anyone in front of me that was blocking me. I had perfect view of the entire stage, so that was awesome. So they started off singing Broadway Baby, and from there out, like, I can't remember the full set list. You could probably go and Google it if you're curious to know like every song they sang. I'm sure somewhere online the set list is there. But basically they started off singing Broadway Baby, and then the second song they did was Suddenly Seymour, which, oh my gosh, I was like, is this happening right now? I was so excited, guys. Oh my gosh, because okay, so for those who don't know, LEA Michele and Darren Criss were actors on the show Glee, which was my absolute favorite show. I loved that show. I looked forward to it every week, and I was so bummed when it went off the air. Like, every single episode made me laugh, made me smile, and made me cry. Every single episode. And it brought back memories of being in the music theater program in high school. I just loved it. I loved every single character on it. It was just awesome. So LEA MICHELE played Rachel on Glee, and DARREN CRISS played Blaine. And they sang Suddenly Seymour together on Glee, and I'll never forget that episode because that is one of my favorite Broadway songs. And when they sang it on Glee, I was bawling. Bawling. Just, oh my God, I was like, so to hear them sing it live was just, it was mind-blowing. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, is this happening right now? I just was in awe, and I started to get teary-eyed. It was just beautiful. And I have to say now, DARREN CRISS, I have seen live before. I saw him about 2 years ago, I think it was. I think it was in 2016 that I saw him. But he was just by himself. And I will say this, both Leah and DARREN sound exactly like they did on Glee. Like with Glee, they pre-record the songs in a studio and then they lip sync to them on the show. That's how they would do it. But hearing them live, they sounded exactly like the recordings. So it was crazy. And no, they weren't, like, I mean, you could tell they were singing it live. They weren't lip syncing. And so that is pretty phenomenal because there's not many singers out there these days that sound the same live as they do on the recordings, because a lot of times when they're in the studio and they record, they use auto-tune and all these things to like touch up their voice. So it just solidified how amazingly talented they both are to hear their voices live. And especially Leah's, this was my first time seeing her live, and I was blown away. Like, her voice is just phenomenal. It is phenomenal. What a talent. So they did those two songs together, and then they split up. And so Leah did a set of songs, and then DARREN did a set of songs, and then they came back together again at the end. So Leah did some songs from Glee. She sang Don't Rain on My Parade, which I was blown away. I was so excited when she started to sing it because that was one of my favorite Glee moments as well. And every time I listen to, because I have literally every song from Glee on my iPod, every time I listen to that song, I just go crazy, like singing and dancing. So that was awesome to see live. It was so energetic, and it was so, like, again, just mind-blowing, the powerfulness of her voice. So she sang that, and then she also sang Maybe This Time, and it was incredible. And I did get a video clip of that, which I will insert here. amazing, amazing. And then from that point on, I kind of like, it's kind of hazy what she did. I'm sure she did a couple more Glee songs, but then she also did some songs from her albums because she has 2 albums out. Now, I don't have her albums, so I only knew some of the songs because I had seen her like performing them on television. But some of them I didn't know because I don't have her albums, which I need to get her albums. Like, I've known about them and I keep meaning to buy them and then I just forget. And so now that I've seen her live and I've heard her sing some of these songs, like every song was amazing. So I have to get her albums. So she sang some of those and it was just amazing. Then Darren came out and he sang, I think it was like maybe 2-ish songs from Glee, I believe. And one of them that he sang was Teenage Dream. And oh my gosh, he did the 2 versions of it in one. Like, he did like a mashup of the 2 versions. Because if you're a Gleek, like I am, you will know that on the show, there was the first time that he sang Teenage Dream, and it was like the regular tempo of the song, like the upbeat tempo of Teenage Dream. Later on in the show, when him and, my God, my brain. Oh, when him and Kurt were having I think they were about to break up, if I remember correctly, or they were having problems in the relationship or something. So he sang like this acoustic type version of Teenage Dream with just the piano. He was playing the piano and he slowed down the tempo and made it kind of like a ballad. So he started off playing the ballad type version at the piano, and I immediately started tearing up because I remembered that scene in Glee and he was singing this song to Kurt and it was an emotional moment in the show and I was reliving it, and even now just talking about it I'm just like, oh. So it just like brought back memories of the show and I was just like, oh my gosh. So I got teary-eyed, and then he all of a sudden like kicked it into the up tempo and was still playing the piano, but the band kind of like came in with it and it was amazing. His voice is absolutely amazing.
I was alright, but things were kinda heavy. You brought me to life now every February. You'll be my Valentine. Valentine, so let's go on the way tonight. No regrets, just love weekend until we die. You and I will be young forever, 'cause you make me feel like I'm living a teenage dream. The way you turn me on, I can't sleep. Let's run away and don't ever look back. Don't ever look back.
And then he did some songs from his album. And then he let us know that every tour stop, he was doing a surprise song. So it was going to be different in every stop. And what he was doing was picking a song of an artist from whatever city they were playing in. So because he was here in Toronto, he decided to sing a Drake song. So he did that with his guitar and it was so cool. So that was a lot of fun. I'm not really a Drake fan. I used to watch him on Degrassi. I love the show Degrassi, but I'm not a Drake fan. Like, I don't mind the song that he played, which is that Just Hold On, We're Going Home, or whatever it was. I don't mind that song, but I don't really like his rap stuff. And yeah, so his set was really awesome. He did a variety of like Glee songs and songs from his album and stuff. And then it came to the time where him and Leah came back together to sing, and they sang a song together that Darren wrote for a Harry Potter musical. And it was a song that he had Leah in mind when he wrote it, and it's a song that's supposed to be sung by Hermione, and it's called I'm the Coolest Girl. And so Leah came out and sang that while Darren played it on the piano, and that was just, it was a really cute song. I really enjoyed it. And then before I get on to like the finale part of the show, I just have to say, one of the things that was really weird to me and funny to me at the same time was hearing not so much Darren, because I kind of like can see him, but Leah especially. Hearing Leah and Darren swear was like the weirdest thing, especially Leah. She dropped a couple F-bombs on stage, and it was the weirdest. It was funny, but it was so weird because I see her as Rachel Berry on Glee, and it's like, I've never heard Rachel swear ever because it was like a family show. So I was like, what is going on? Rachel Berry is dropping F-bombs. It was so hilarious, but I really liked it. It was kind of cool to kind of see their personalities like as themselves and not their characters. So then came the last parts of the show, and this is where I completely lost it and started crying, like insanely crying. Because first off, oh my God, I knew, like, okay, throughout the whole show, okay, throughout Leah's set, I was thinking, please do Roots Before Branches, because that was one of my absolute favorite Leah songs from Glee. And every time I watch that scene in Glee, I cry hysterically. And I was just like, oh my gosh, if she does this song, I'm gonna lose it. And then at the same time, I thought to myself, oh my gosh, if she sings the song this time, I will also completely lose it, because the song this time was sung in the final episode of Glee, and it basically summed up the entire show. It summed up everything that the characters had been throughout the course of the series in one song, and it was emotional. And LEA MICHELE, her character, Rachel Berry, was known for crying in almost every song she sang, and this one was no exception. So I was like, oh my gosh, if she was to sing either one of those songs, I'm going to lose it. Well, come to the finale, both Leah and Darren are on stage, and they start talking about the final episode. And I'm like, oh my God. And they're talking about the final song that Rachel was going to sing in the last episode and how they went about choosing it. And Leah was talking about how throughout the course of the series, there was only 3 different occasions that she was allowed to pick what songs she wanted to sing. So 3 songs out of the whole, what, I think it was like 5 or 6 seasons. I think it was 6 seasons actually. So out of all that, she only got to pick 3 songs to sing. And so she was going to pick her final song to sing on Glee. And as soon as they said that, I was like, oh my God, they're going to sing this time. They're going to sing this time. And so they went through the process, and actually she talked about all the different song ideas that she had. So they kind of went through some of the song ideas that she had, and some of them were really funny because they totally would not fit a series finale. So it was kind of interesting to like hear some of the behind the scenes stories. And then she was like, and then Darren came to me with the song that he wrote. And as soon as she said that, I knew for sure 100% they were going to sing this time. And I already started crying. I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to sing it. I'm going to cry. Like, even just talking about it, I'm tearing up. So they started singing it. And oh my gosh, like the tears were just like, and I could tell that everyone around me was also crying. Like, all I could hear was sniffling, like, all around me. It was dead silent, but because, like, yeah, and that was the thing. This wasn't like a concert where people stood up and danced and stuff, because it was a lot of Broadway music and stuff like that. So people were pretty much sitting for the show. There was, like, the odd song that we would do standing ovations for, but it was pretty much just sitting through the whole show. So we're sitting there listening to this time, and I could tell everyone was crying. Like, I don't even know. Like, I think the only people that probably didn't cry were people that were just there for a concert but didn't really know the show. But most of the people that were sitting, like, on either side of me and behind me were definitely Glee fans, and I could tell they were bawling too. So I was like, okay, I'm not alone. I'm not alone in this. So we were just bawling. And so they sang that.
I knew what I know now I see. For I come and what I got right. When I was looking for that spotlight, I was looking for myself. Don't know what I was afraid of. Showed them all what I was made of. More than trophies on the shelf. From all the past where we lost nobody had won. I never stopped believing in the words we sung. We sung. This time, no one's gonna say goodbye. I keep you in the heart of mine. This time, I know it's enough. No matter who or where I am, carry where we all began. This time, every hand I will hold forever.
And then they decided to do an up-tempo song, which kind of, you know, let me compose myself. And they did Don't You Want Me. And I had tried to get a clip of them singing Don't You Want Me, but I was running out of space on my phone. And so I think, like, I had managed to get a clip of it, but when they came out for the encore, I knew I had to record a clip of that of the encore, so I deleted the clip that I had of Don't You Want Me to Make Room on my phone. My phone is so old and it has like hardly any space. I need to get a new one. But so anyways, the up-tempo song let me compose myself, and then they left the stage. But the house lights didn't come on. And as an avid concert goer, I know if the house lights do not come on right away, the show is not over. There will be an encore. Sure enough, they came out to do an encore, and it was an incredible experience. The only other time I've experienced anything like it, I would say, was when I saw Pentatonics in concert. And they did this, where they sang without any amplification, meaning no microphones. And that was the first time I saw it, was at Pentatonics, and that was incredible. And so LEA, Michele, and Darren did the same thing. And so they asked everyone to be super quiet. And they made sure that everyone could hear them, which we could. And then came the waterworks again for me, because they sang acoustically, because Darren was just playing his guitar and they were singing without their microphones. They sang To Make You Feel My Love. And for those who didn't watch Glee, halfway through the series, it was between season 4 and season 5. One of their actors died. His name was Corey Monteith, and he died from an accidental overdose. And LEA, Michele, and him were dating at the time, and it was looking like they were going to be getting engaged. So it was extremely difficult for LEA to go through losing him. And on top of that, their characters on the show dated. They were a couple on the show. So when they had to figure out how to write his death into the show. And so I think it was about 3 episodes into season 5 that they wrote in the death of his character. And they had a memorial episode. And in it, LEA Michele's character, Rachel, sings To Make You Feel My Love in memory of Corey Monteith, and his character's name was Finn. And so that whole episode, like, I pretty much cried the entire episode, because it wasn't just the death of a character, like he actually died in real life. So you could tell that all the characters, all the actors, their tears were real. And so it was very, very emotional. So when they started singing that song from that episode, oh my goodness, I was bawling even harder. And again, I could hear everyone around me crying. And it was an incredible experience, like, to hear them singing live like that and without mics. And everyone in the audience was sort of like humming the melody really silently to themselves. So it just gave this like haunting feel to it. And it was like, I don't know, I've never experienced anything like that at a concert before. It was beautiful. And the only complaint I have about the performance, and it wasn't anything to do with the performance itself, it was an audience member, and it really ticked me off, because halfway through the song, at one part, when there was like a pause in the song, this guy in the middle of it shouts out, yes, girl, or something like that. And it was so rude and inappropriate. It just made me so mad. It was like, this is a moment where we're all supposed to be quiet and just like taking this in, which everyone was doing. And this guy just had to yell out like some ridiculous, it was so, I was like, way to ruin this like emotional, sentimental glee moment. It was just, I was mad about that. And I think I got that on my video clip. You'll see it. I'm gonna put it in a second. But yeah, that just kind of really irked me. But then as it got towards, I think it was like the last chorus of the song, the audience started to sing along really quietly, because like it was like the audience was like, we want to sing with them, but not loud enough to where we can't hear them. And it was like everyone was one. It was like we all had the same idea. And so you can kind of hear the audience kind of singing a little bit on the video that I have. And I could tell that as the song ended, like both Leah and Darren, I think, were getting emotional. And Leah turned to Darren, and I didn't get this on video, but she turned to Darren and kind of like put her hand on his arm and was like, wow. Like she was even in awe of what happened in the audience and everything, like with us sort of kind of singing, humming along. It was just a really beautiful moment. So I'm going to put that clip in here. And so yeah, so that's all the video that I took. The rest of the time I just sat and enjoyed and just was in the moment. And I plan to do the same when I go see Taylor Swift in August. I am not planning to film very much at all. I want to vlog the day definitely, because I'm planning to go down and meet up with other Swifties and stuff. So I've never done that before, and I think that'll be fun to vlog. But I'm not planning to film very much of the Taylor Swift concert. Not like I did the last time I saw her in concert, because I really want to just be in the moment and experience everything firsthand. I don't want to be looking through a camera. You know what I mean? And so I already have been following the tour for Taylor Swift online. And so I've already seen like the set list, and I've seen different things from the show. So I kind of have an idea of what parts I do want to film short. I mean like really short clips of, to get those particular moments. And then definitely the one thing that I feel like everyone wants to film as a Swiftie at a Taylor Swift concert is her speeches, because I filmed her speeches at the last show, and I can't tell you how many times I've gone back and watched those because they're so inspiring, and when I'm down, they lift me up. So I definitely will be filming her speeches. I know that that is something I have to, but when it comes to the songs, I just want to sing and dance. And so I may do like a couple of short clips like what I did with Darren and Leah, but the rest I'm just going to really just be present in the moment and enjoy it. So anyways, this video has turned out to be much longer than I originally anticipated. So if you've made it this far, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing the little video clips that I did take from the show. And if you are a Glee fan, they're doing a second leg of the tour. So I highly recommend you check and see if they're coming to a city near you. And if you can go, go. I highly recommend it. It was a fantastic show. And it doesn't disappoint. It is well worth the money. So go check it out. LEA Michele and DARREN CRISS. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. And we'll see you next time. Bye.